Let me apologize for starting this program behind schedule. It's a live program. Thank you for joining another edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. I'd like to invite you to another special edition of Journalist Hangout. It's coming up on May 29th this year. That's Democracy Day, and the venue is our studio here in Lagos, Nigeria. And for you to participate, you can just send your SMS and name and location to the number showing on your screen. And I will tell you, the one we had on the 2nd of January 2017, we've been having calls from all over the country and even beyond for us to just please, let's do it again. So to celebrate our Democracy Day, we are going to be having our live audience, and it's going to be an extended version of Journalist Hangout. We've been getting the feedback about what has been happening on Journalist Hangout. And Babajide, was it the day before yesterday? We were with the governor of Lagos State, and it's very, very interesting. Beyond the governor of Lagos State, we also have another northern governor that wanted the whole crew of JH to come to that state. You want to tell us about that experience? That shows how popular JH is becoming.
Yes, you see, it's difficult for we on the inside to know exactly how popular this program is. But every time we meet big, powerful Nigerians, opinion molders and people that ought to be taken seriously, they tell us your program is so popular. And Governor Ambode organized a dinner for journalists, senior journalists on Sunday. And his table was adjacent my table. He left his table and came to where I was. I was sitting between Funke Gbemode, the MD of Telegraph newspaper, and the former editor of Vanguard.
That's the MD of Vanguard newspaper right now.
Yes, the longest serving editor in Vanguard history. I was sitting between them, and he said, this is the man who ensures that I don't sleep early.
That's our repeat version.
Your program, Journalist Hangout, is the most popular in Nigeria today. And I felt so proud, you know, on that occasion, with so many senior journalists around, for a governor, the most hardworking governor in Nigeria, to give that kind of endorsement. You
didn't allow us to go to the one that invited from the north.
We'll get there one day.
All right. So what we're saying is that you just send your SMS, your name, your location to the numbers you see on your screen, and you book a seat. We have limited seats. I have limited capacity in this studio, so we are going to have a kind of overflow outside the studio that very day, but we're doing it on time so that we celebrate our democracy, and we're going to be doing a critical analysis of how the government of Buhari Oshibajo has fared in the last 2 years. That's May 29. Just write it down and make it a date. Today on the Hangout, court jails former Adamawa's governor over 167 million naira fraud, and Governor Kashim Shettima urges Buhari to crush Boko Haram permanently. Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Wahid Bakare, and Ismail Omikwidon are set to dissect these issues. So Journalist Hangout starts in a moment. Corruption has eaten so deep into the fabrics of Nigeria that it's almost like it's a spell that the anti-corruption agencies are almost incapable of winning cases against the bigwigs. But it seems the table has begun to turn. Yesterday, a high court in Yola hauled the former governor of Adamawa State, James Bala Ngilari, into prison. He will be spending the next 5 years of his life in jail. That is, calculating the jail time, it's going to spend 2.5 years in jail. That's 5 years, day and night, calculated together. They say 5 years, but it's going to spend 2.5 years in jail. The sentencing came without an option of fine. Ngilari was convicted for a fraud he committed while in office between the first 2014 to May 21st in 29th in 2015. Can we trust the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to win more cases of this nature? Babajide, let me start from you. Now, we've had the likes of Governor Adewolu Ladoja. We've had the likes of Orji Zakalu, the likes of the class of 2007, that they are still running their cases.
Yes.
But for this, from what I gathered earlier, it was tried on the 6 months. I don't know what EFCC did. and they were able to do this. It's a different subject matter when you are talking about, 5 years. Maybe that's enough. But for a governor, to be going to jail, I think this is going to send a very, very big signal to impunity in Nigeria.
Yes, I think it sends the right message across to our people. We've longed for this day for years. We've longed for more than 10 years for this day. The class of 2007 governors, about 48 hours after they left office, they were put on trial. And as we speak, not one of them has been jailed. I remember the former governor of Taraba State even coming out to say, see, if they want me to make reforms,
Reverend
I'm ready
Father
to
Jolly
make reforms.
Yame.
Yes, it was quoted in the newspapers as saying that just a few hours after losing his freedom, Nigerians, big Nigerians who enjoy a life of luxury, never want to lose their freedom for one day. You enjoy, you go
all
around, all some of choice women, choice wine, you enjoy yourself,
choice
and
apartments.
then you lose your freedom for just 48 hours. It can send your head, on a spin. So this guy said, look, at this point, if you want me to make reform, I'm ready. So, but as we speak, that case has literally not gotten off the ground. Is at this time is at the embryonic stage. We expect that by now that case will have been decided. And when you look at even in Adamawa State, former governor Muritala Yaku is facing trial along with his son Abdulaziz, is a sitting senator now. He's facing trial for alleged theft of 40 billion naira. That case began before that of Balangilari. So I don't really know what has happened. That a case that began, a case of a greater theft, alleged theft, has still not been decided, and Ngilari has suddenly been jailed. I don't know what happened, but whatever it is, and when you look at the money that we are talking about, 137 million, because they bought some Hilux vans and all that. That's a very infinitesimal sum of money compared to what we are talking about. In the case of Danjuma Goje, who awarded a contract for 1 billion for the supply of dictionaries to secondary schools in Gombe State. So we want to see this happening. We want, yes, you set an example.
Before we take a break, Wahid, when you see this, and is it that it doesn't have good lawyers to help him stall the trial? Maybe because of the nature of 167 million, it might not have that war chest to have.
Took the 10 lights.
I don't know. But 6 months in our criminal justice system
it's strange.
It's strange.
I think the reason is because of the fact that since last year, Nigeria started implementing criminal acts.
Yes, Administration of Criminal Justice System 2015.
You can no longer
appeal it.
Detain people anyhow. In the past, if you want to carry out a search, even if you don't have search warrants, you can easily do that. Security agents will come, they bamboozle you, but now they say you can't do that. In the past also, if a suspect, fled, you can arrest member of his immediate family or friends to use them as bait so that the man can come out of hiding. But this act has taken care of all that. Situation whereby a jail is meant to accommodate maybe 500 people, you now clamp maybe 2,000 of them in jail. And of the 2,000 inmates, you discover that 90% or 95% of them are awaiting trial. But we have departed from that.
Okay,
now.
Let me allow Ismail to contribute before we quickly go on.
When I saw the breaking news yesterday, I was also taken aback. And the first thing that came to my mind was that...
What happened?
Is it possible that Bala has no godfather? Because like Babajide said, Fintiri, who was acting governor before Bala, his case had been on. Before Bala, the case is still on. Inyaku, his case has been on, but all of a sudden from nowhere, well, for me, I think maybe the political setup in the state may have also contributed to it, because I know that the governor and Bala are not on the same camp.
And they took them to court.
You know, and they took them to court.
The Supreme Court gave him the governorship.
You understand that? So I want, and because since it's the case is within Yola, I want to believe that certain things may have
politics happen.
But whatever happened, the most important thing is that he has been, he has been jailed. But you see, my only concern is that his case is not likely to be that of like that of Bode George, because he has said he's going to appeal it. I wish they had taken him to jail yesterday. You understand? Let him, you know, like Bode George's own. The judgment was passed, sentence was passed, and he was slammed into the prison custody. It was from there he was.
I don't know, maybe you can get a stay of execution for this level.
Well, you know,
because
from the way he spoke, I mean, it's like the sentence was just a mere pronouncement, and they will go ahead to challenge it.
Even
and who
to
knows,
Supreme Court.
Who knows, he may get off the hook.
Okay, let's quickly take this breather. When we come back, we'll discuss more. This is journalist Hangout reaching you live from Television Continental here in Lagos, Nigeria. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Still journalist Hangout, and we're looking at the conviction of former governor of Adamawa State, that's James Bala Ngilari. And when we are looking at it, because we've been talking about the political undertone, and it will take
political
undertone, because we want to look at the rocket science, how EFCC did it.
It's the fastest, I think in the history, it's the history of EFCC.
So they've broken the record, because we know
the politically
exposed person. We know of Alamesia. We know the time it took for them to complete his plea bargain. We know of Lucky Benedion, the time it took for them
matter is
still in court. So the class of 2007. And when you begin to look at it, is it that the administration of criminal justice system might have did the magic, the 2015 administration of the criminal justice system, that you can't stall your trial because of one application and you appeal to Supreme Court level. Now they are saying that while you are appealing, the trial will be going concurrently.
The matter, you see, cases are still being stalled as we speak.
Even after the
CCB.
Yes. Cases are still being stalled. There is no art by which you can stop lawyers from stalling a case. Because you look, when it becomes clear that you want accelerated hearing, you want to ensure that judgment comes quickly, lawyers will devise a method by which the judge will now look like someone who is compromised, who has made up his mind
to convict up another case.
Yes, to convict a particular person.
Yes.
Remember the trial of Al-Mustafa. It was clear that that former Chief Judge of Lagos wanted accelerated hearing. But in the end, no, it's not Alabi. Before Ade Alabi
started it.
Okay.
It was the CJ.
Is he or Ilori?
No, there was a CJ, the one that he forced to excuse himself from the case.
Okay, the judge.
Yes, that was the first judge that handled the matter.
Okay.
You know, it was the CJ before Ade Alabi.
So you want to
the judge said something that appeared to play into the hands of Mustafa's lawyers, and they now said, oh, he had made up his mind that he will convict us by literally pronouncing me guilty before the trial actually took off. So the judge was forced to step aside. Himself. I'm sure I will remember the name of the judge later. It was CJ before Ade Alabi. So because there are some actions that you will take, and they will start saying, these days you will hear, even if you remember the Senate President, even now, the CCB and the Senate President,
but it didn't work.
It didn't work because that is not a conventional court. And the guy insisted, look, they tried all kinds of tricks. Oh, you didn't form quorum with two men and all that. But you see, as we speak, people are being tried for corruption. And in most cases, they are telling the judge to disqualify himself. You've seen the former spokesman of the PDP telling the judge to disqualify himself. So that's part of the strategy. Yes, whereby lawyers determine when they see a judge that is not ready to brook nonsense, they conclude that that judge is compromised, that judge wants to jail them whether they are guilty or not. They will now start saying, no, disqualify yourself, disqualify yourself. There are still many tricks in the book for these lawyers in spite of the...
To frustrate trials.
Yes, so they are still stalling cases. That's why I think that James Balangilari's matter is a subject of deep introspection, because I really do not know what transpired. Because I also know that sometimes if you take a matter lightly, they can enter judgment against you.
Yes.
If you fail to show up. So I don't know what happened.
If you underestimate.
Yes, I don't know. I really don't know what happened. But whatever it is, what we want to see is the people looting our country, you know,
blind,
as if there's no tomorrow. We want to see as many of them as possible put in the slammer. That will make Nigerians happy. In fact, it will make so many Nigerians proud. And many people are agitated about the way things are going in their country. That can actually make them have renewed faith in the country when we begin to make examples of these thieves.
Wahid, when you look at the process and you still see political exposed people, persons, and they have at their disposal to hire all the best senior advocates of Nigeria in this world, and you hear of legal fee of 75 million naira, and you begin to, wow. So that lawyer will employ everything in his books to make sure it frustrates the trial.
Like Jide rightly said, you know, they have different ways of frustrating court proceedings. Like in the case of Al-Mustafa, what happened on that day was that, you know, the lawyer requested that he should be allowed to sit down in court, you know, and the judge, you know, he was so emotional about it. He just flared up and said, no, how will I allow a criminal to sit down?
I remember.
In my court.
Yes, I remember.
So, and I still want to believe it was
they lashed on that.
You know, and they lashed on that. I know he has made up his mind, you know, to sentence him. We can no longer trust this man to deliver justice. So we still have so many lawyers like that. You know, they will try to frustrate the judge. They will try to capitalize on one thing or the other.
Make the judge get angry.
You get angry. The moment you get angry, that's what they will latch on to. And I think in this case, you know, in the past, I also said that EFCC should stop all this media trial. You know, they should do their homework very well. They should do it thoroughly. Once you have done it
and
thoroughly...
if you look at this case, it was just a 5-count charge.
Yes, 5-count charge.
Not the bogus 180-something, 120-something that you cannot actually pay.
More than 100. At the end of the day,
look at the case of James Ibori, 160-count charge. At the end of the day, the man said, no, I found him no guilty, even on one. So they should try to reduce the charges and make sure that they do their own work very, very well. Why is it difficult in a place like China for you not to be convicted once you are taken to court? It's because they will have done their own work. They will have done it in a way that the burden of proof will now be shifted on you. Once they are taken to court, it's as sure as death that you are going to be found guilty.
Yes.
I think we should also adopt that system.
In China, you are guilty until you prove.
Yes.
And you prove yourself innocent, not the reverse. The case around that you are innocent until you're proven guilty. So you have to. Lawal is calling us from Lagos. Thank you for joining us, Lawal.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Lawal.
Yeah, my regard to the panel there.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you, Lawal.
Yeah, this Mr. Bala's issue, I think from a close friend who is from that state told me that this man is not this kind of person that spends money. He doesn't spend money. Because you can see this is clearly. That amount is very small compared with billions of naira that people are spending. And the issue did not take long, within 6 months.
Okay, Lawal.
Lawal
is saying he doesn't spend money. But whether he spends money or he doesn't spend money, if he's 160-something million naira,
I think the case against him was that the award of the nobody's contesting the award of the contract, but that he did not follow the due process. That was it. They didn't say he embezzled the money. They didn't, but that the contract did not follow due process.
So it means that you may not even have stolen money.
He may not have stolen money.
Once you have run foul of the law,
yes.
He may not have stolen. But you see, I think the argument the last caller is trying to make is that, look, there are people who have done worse things than Bala.
He did not play ball.
But you see, what I want to say is that we should stop this idea of he stole only 5 naira. Why are you beating him so hard?
Let's start from somewhere.
Who stole 20,000 naira
or 40 billion naira that I've just mentioned.
On the back, my concern is that if the conviction is as a result of EFCC's handwork, good homework, I think they should keep it up and ensure that other cases before them are handled the way this very one, is
whatever magic
they
should do it again.
They should do it again and let us see, because all of us here are of the view that it looks like a magic. Within 6 months, politically exposed presidents,
quite
we get conviction, very unprecedented. So whatever they have done, I want to commend them, but I want them to do it again. Let us see it in Nyako's case. Let us see it in Finteri's case.
Benga Daniel is still in court.
Let us see it in all
Christopher Alao Akala is still in court.
Dariye's case began before 2007.
Yes, it's still in court.
So
all right, I have Rotimi from Osun State on the line. Rotimi, thank you for joining us. All right, yeah. I think, okay, let me quickly take this break. When we come back, we'll discuss more. It's still Journalist Hangout, still ahead. Borno governor urges federal government to crush the bloody terrorist group Boko Haram permanently. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Still Journalist Hangout, and Governor Kashim Shettima of Borno State has called on the federal government to quickly deploy all resources to flush out the remnant of Boko Haram in Nigeria before the commencement of the rainy season. He fears that if urgent steps are not taken, the crisis in the northeast could escalate and the terror group might not be defeated until 2018. But this is the same governor that recently rolled out the drums celebrating the defeat of the group. Are we telling ourselves the truth about the defeats of Boko Haram? Let's listen to Governor Kashim Shettima.
3 years ago, Your Excellency, apart from the road that we followed this afternoon, the Maiduguri-Kano road, Maiduguri was effectively encircled by the Boko Haram. You cannot live beyond 15 kilometers from Maiduguri to Kwangam Borungala Road. Beyond Gom, you are in Boko Haram territory. Maiduguri Biu Road, you cannot move beyond Delwa. Maiduguri Monguno Baga Road, the end point was Tungushe. Even Gajigana was a power of place. The only accessible road to Borno State was the Maiduguri-Kano Road. Maiduguri was effectively encircled and was under siege until God in his infinite wisdom brought in the government of the APC. Sometimes, Your Excellency, I will spend 2 days without sleeping. This government house was nearly attacked at a point in time. The Boko Haram were repeatedly attacking Maiduguri from all directions. The Air Force base was attacked. Giwa Barracks here was attacked. So many times Maiduguri nearly fell to the hands of the Boko Haram. But we have to thank God. We have to thank you. We have to thank President Muhammadu Buhari for rescuing us from the jaws of this insurgent. But we need your support now more than ever before, Your Excellency, because the Boko Haram have been decimated to such a level that they no longer pose a potent threat to the corporate existence of this country. They can no longer hold on to any territory in the Nigerian Federation. But they are on their death throes and they are desperate for relevance and publicity. We need your support. We need your influence. Let's marshal all resources. We have the window of 90 days before the commencement of the next rainy season to really reduce them to a nuisance, to the barest minimum. Otherwise, if we allow this crisis to fester till the rainy season, I am afraid the Boko Haram crisis may not end even by next year. Once the president comes back, which inshallah he will come back very soon, I will lead a delegation from Borno to go and meet him and appeal to him implore on him, beseech him, beg him to marshal all resources to bring this madness finally to an end.
That event took place yesterday night. It was in honor of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There was a gala night for Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Maiduguri, that is in Borno State. Jide, we once mentioned this. What is the disadvantage of not conquering these people before the rainy season? What are we looking at?
Well, you recall that I talked about this many times, and it is the greatest fear of people in areas where Boko Haram still remains very active. There are communities in Borno State where Boko Haram remains very active. And people have called in on the program to tell us that they are in Borno North and they listed communities where the boys are roaming free. That is a fact that cannot be controverted. Now, I'm happy that this governor has come out to say the rainy season must not, because they've stepped up attacks on our troops and on Nigerian communities. Go to Askira Uba, many people in villages in Askira Uba, they fled their homes because Boko Haram continues to kill people. Now, the rainy season will ensure that the weeds grow taller. And when the weeds grow taller, they will have cover. They can hide. That is the greatest fear of people in those communities. We can boast about defeating an enemy that continues to kill Nigerian soldiers. If that is our choice, no problem. But for the governor to come out and say, look, I'm going to beg President Buhari when he comes back to deploy everything necessary to crush these people once and for all, that tells you that he knows that Kashim Shettima, one of the most cerebral governors in Nigeria today, knows that this problem remains. And that this problem has to be addressed. Yesterday, I was listening to the commissioners because I'm shocked that despite this problem, Kashim has performed. I'm really impressed.
So difficult
I'm impressed. Yes, it's extremely difficult for anybody to perform in that circumstance. But this man has performed. And as the commissioners reeled out the achievements, I almost came to tears that this man has done so well. Boko Haram has tried to slow him down, but his energy continues to push him. Now, I was listening to the Commissioner for Agri. He talked about how wheat farming, how they introduce wheat farming on a big scale in Marte. So, in Marte, you know, and I listened. I said, let me see where I will end. He now said that Boko Haram came, destroyed everything, destroyed their equipment, and that they will return to the area when peace has been restored. You know, I always say that Marte, Abadam, and Moba are local governments where Boko Haram is running riot. People will argue with me, but this is something that I've always insisted on. And Nigerian soldiers admit it. So now, the commissioner has admitted that they will return when peace has been restored to the area. That should tell you, that should validate the argument that there are still places where these boys are killing innocent Nigerians. And the president, when he returns, I don't even think we need to wait until the president returns.
We have an acting president.
He's also the commander right now. Shettima should go to Professor Oshibajo and say, see, save my people. These people have killed enough of my people. Save us. Deploy all the resources. If Nigeria needs help, Borno North, where Boko Haram is behaving as if they hold Nigeria, send troops to that place, crush these guys once and for all. That is what I want. That is what will give me joy.
Use air power, land, everything we've got in an arsenal. This is the same governor that was contemplating in returning IDPs back to their villages by May.
You know, in the past, we have deceived ourselves a lot concerning this issue of Boko Haram being defeated. And we have said it times with that number of the program that this is not a conventional war.
Like a lone voice in the wilderness.
Everybody
believes that
when you say celebrating the face of the people. No, even when you say this, they will hate you. They will say you are not a patriot.
It's not a conventional war. It is true that the Boko Haram has been decimated. But you know, occasionally, why is it that they keep bringing surprises? They lay ambush for our soldiers, they kill them. After they kill Abu Ali, they know that they have killed some other senior military officers. Yes. But because of the fact that the whole nation agreed that Abu Ali, you know, was a soldier like no any other, That is why, you know, everybody was pained by his death. But after that,
killed so many soldiers.
They killed so much. You remember that
young officers.
There was a time about 2 or 3 weeks ago. The recruits,
yes,
as they were coming, they lay ambush for them and killed so many of them.
Military recruits.
They were transported them from Maiduguri
taking them to the battlefield. And unlike in the past, where Nigerian army will easily deny, but they have been coming out now. Oh, they killed 5 soldiers, they killed 7 soldiers.
Sometimes they just keep quiet.
For how long are we going to be doing that? Let's just face the reality. This is not a conventional one. Whatever method that can be used, to defeat this Boko Haram, we have to use it. They must defeat them. It has to be complete defeat. You can't be satisfied that you can't be giving yourself false hope or false sense of victory that you have won when in the real sense of it you have not really won the war.
Governor Shettima alluded to the fact that there was a time the whole Maiduguri, surrounding Maiduguri, as in Boko Haram surrounded Maiduguri. It's only Maiduguri.
So effectively encircled.
Yes.
No, it's a fact. I recall just shortly before the 2015 elections. That was when they had moved close to Kunduga. They were surging towards Maiduguri, and I was one of those who even advised the governor because he cut short his journey, where he was going to see some of the students outside. I was one of those who advised that he should remain in Abuja and allow the situation to, settle before going. And he said, "Look, they elected me to lead them. If I remain here and they kill them, that it was better for him to go there and be killed than remain." The wife was even shedding tears. The wife was shedding tears. But you see, as God will have it, he went in and he started moving around this show. And some of the residents now came out, especially around this university area. This university area, Maiduguri. Some of the the people came out, and it was like giving hope, giving confidence. Having said that,
it's a very difficult state to
has been
govern.
very, very consistent as far as issue of Boko Haram is concerned. We have discussed privately, we have discussed in the open. He said he will never play politics with the issue of Boko Haram. If you recall, he was the first person who came out to say that the weapons those people had
yes, I remember.
were more superior than that.
I remember,
and almost everybody came down on
attack.
But that's not true.
But when Bade was handing over, eventually, go and listen to Bade's valuatory speech. He said that
I think it was after then they got...
He didn't say that they had better weapons than Nigeria. He said that the Nigerian army was not equipped. Because, you see, the question I always ask people is, tell me the weapon that Boko Haram has that the Nigerian army does not.
All right, Jude, let me quickly take Johnson. Johnson is calling us from Kaduna State. Thank you for staying on, Johnson.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Johnson. Go ahead with your contribution.
Please, I have a question for my uncle there, Otitoju.
Who is your uncle?
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Because if we are from the same territorial district.
Okay.
My question is this. Please, when the governor, I listened to the governor, he said we need the help of the federal government more than ever before. Please, if you have decimated Boko Haram, will you now need more than ever before? At least if the work you will need should not be as what you want to do. More than ever before. So
that means even more than before.
Wrong. Something is happening. Is really, really wrong. The truth is not coming out.
Thank you, Johnson. I think we are not contending that fact again because it's obvious that somebody is being economical with the truth.
The truth is, the governor will not come out to tell you that Boko Haram is running riot. When that senator came out to say, see, some local governments were with Boko Haram, the governor and other people condemned him because they felt that will not give hope to the people.
Yes.
But sometimes, yes, because it's the duty of the governor to ginger people, to raise the hope of the people. So he has to find a balance. Now it is clear to people. You can no longer lie to Nigerians. They can see soldiers being killed. We analyzed, we showed clearly that between January and late February, 21 attacks. We didn't get those attacks 6 months ago. So you cannot now say that, okay, they've been defeated. No, that would be deceiving yourself.
And I'd like to especially commend our brothers, Premium Times, because consistently they've always been giving us the version and everything.
There are other news. There are other news. That even do it better than them. Just that Nigerians do not read them. So they are not the only ones who are doing it.
Okay, let me quickly take this break. When we come back, we'll discuss more. We're still on the alarm raised by Governor Kashim Shettima. Gentlemen, way forward now. How should the federal government, the Governor Kashima has called, Kashim has sent a kind of SOS to the federal government. What should we be doing now before the rainy season? Already, it has started raining in the southwest.
You see, until we realize that Boko Haram is a bigger problem than we think it is, we will be fooling ourselves and we won't solve the problem. This is a regional problem. Boko Haram has cells in Chad, in Niger Republic and Cameroon. In fact, they are very active in northern Cameroon till today. You saw the day we brought Simon.
Simon Ateba.
And Simon actually chronicled the activities and said, these guys have killed more than 400 Cameroonian soldiers. And he brought pictures of killed Cameroonian soldiers. Because in Cameroon, the culture is when they lose a soldier, so that the soldier gets the honor that he deserves, so that the people realize that he's a hero. They publish his pictures, unlike us that we deny. So they are active in all of those countries until the countries come together. Because my main worry is that they are active along the fringes of Lake Chad. So that is where we can crush them. But we can't crush them without actively working with our neighbors. And how do we crush them? The multinational joint task force has to be equipped. If you go and find out now, you will see that the multinational task force is not even provided with enough funds to carry out its activities.
It might not be well funded.
About a year ago, they were very, very active. Clearance operations along, even up to Dikwa, they came to Dikwa. But it's not happening now. And those boys are running riot. So we have to work with our neighbors. If we do not work with our neighbors, we cannot solve the problem because our borders are porous, they will come in.
Like Gideon rightly said, United Nations Security Council, they paid a visit to that Lake Chad basin, and they also confirmed the fact that Boko Haram is active in that area. So what I expect Nigeria to do is that let's put a lot of soldiers, let's concentrate in that area. We also know the fact that as soon as it is raining, they have the opportunity of hiding under the bush. Let's look for a way to make sure that as the bush are growing, they are being caught. Massive, so that they won't have, they won't have a place.
Those places are too big.
They won't have a place to hide.
Unless they'll cut grass for two.
When we were boasting that we captured Sambisa Forest, and Obi Ezekwesili and Co, they took them now. Obi said only a small part of Sambisa is controlled by Nigerian soldiers. And it's true. If you even have 10 million soldiers, you can't protect Sambisa. It's too big.
Your parting word on this?
Yes, I think the multinational joint task force, must be well funded, and the Nigerian army must take this fight as if we are just starting, the fight afresh. Like I've said it before that it appears we are resting on our
even some of the viewers said that there are places that soldiers don't go to.
Because the truth is that if they had not done what they have done, perhaps by now Boko Haram would have overrun Abuja and some parts of it, including Kaduna. So we appreciate the fact, that they have done enough, but it is still not enough.
They should not rest.
They should not rest.
Let's keep fighting.
Yeah, because apart from the issue of bush growing, the terrain is such that the armor tank may not be able to move very well during the rainy season.
We talked about this a long time.
Yes, they will be stocked, and once they are stocked, these guys are used to that area than some of our soldiers.
All right, moving on now. It seems the federal government is confused about how to react to the immigration policy of the United States of America. Yesterday, the senior special assistant to the president on foreign affairs and diaspora, Abike Dabiri Erewa, advised Nigerians who have no compelling and urgent reason to travel to the United States to postpone their travel plans until the new administration's policy on immigration was clear. But a few hours after that, the Foreign Affairs Minister, Geoffrey Oyema, actually addressed the press conference today. He rebuffed the warning. He says Nigerians who have valid travel documents to the United States are free to embark on the trip. What is happening, gentlemen?
I think that is very embarrassing for two top officials of the administration to be criticizing themselves, to be denying claims by one another in public. It doesn't speak well at all. And I think that whatever has happened, the minister shouldn't have gone to the extent of calling a press conference to try to diminish the standing
to undermine
of Abike Dabiri, because what she said is, if you do not have anything
compelling, there's a caveat there.
Yes. So what really is wrong with what she has said? Many countries too are saying the same thing to their citizens.
It's not that don't go.
We have a minister. We have a minister who has acted like an absentee minister in the matter of the killing of Nigerians in South Africa.
Xenophobic
the
attack.
Destruction of the business premises of Nigerians in South Africa. No strong response. It is Abike Dabiri who has been talking.
Kept talking.
So is this an attempt to diminish our standing in the eyes of the Nigerian people? I don't think it is right. I don't think that she was really banged out of order in giving that advice to Nigerians. Because look, if I know Nigerians who have been skeptical about even remaining in America because Donald Trump took over, because of some of his utterances. So it is not such a bad thing to say, look, if we do not have something compelling
to do.
And we have seen people who went to America. Remember he bought I think a cheap ticket. So it was routed through the Middle East, and then because of that they said, oh, why did you have to stop over in that particular route? He had to do that because the ticket was cheaper. But because they detained them at the airport. Detain them for days at the airport. So people should not be subjected to this kind of humiliation because they want to visit a country.
And our government must respond adequately.
Appropriately to these issues.
To this. Now, it's like the prerogative of the United States of America, even though if you have your B1, B2 visa with you and you have your valid travel documents, but when you get to the point of entry, it's a very critical place. If you don't sound convincing, there's a plane waiting for you. So they still reserve that right to turn you back. And we know since the beginning of Trump administration that a lot of people have been watching. So is this advice really, really bad?
There's nothing wrong with the advice, but I'm not surprised. This is not the first time that Buhari's ministers and aides will be working at cross purposes. We had similar experience, between Adeosun and the CBN governor. The CBN governor will say one thing about the economy. We say the opposite until they were called to order that no, you can't be doing that because you are even embarrassing the government. Yes. You represent the same government.
Embarrassing all of us.
You are embarrassing all of us. You represent the same government and you are saying two different things. What is wrong with the advice? That we know that you don't have any genuine reason.
We have a case study. Somebody was actually turned back and the visa was cancelled.
Not only that, even some of our friends that are in America, they have been posting it on social media before now. That for those of them who are even in the US, that if you don't have any business, any genuine thing that would make you to leave the shores of America to anywhere, don't leave.
Because you may not be allowed to come back.
We are talking of those who are there already. Not
married
there. Who are married. They have their children there. They have been there for so long, and they have good jobs there. They are saying, no, if you don't have any business, any genuine thing that would make you to leave America, don't leave, because there is no assurance that when you leave, you are likely to come back. So, and here we have somebody who is saying that, before she said it, she has enough reason.
We even were on phone to one of the people that was turned back.
I was watching on one of his TV stations, somebody who was relating the experience of one of his relatives. They told him at the entry point that no, because what they did was that they collected his phone. They look at his text messages. They did the phone. They look at his email, and they told him that look, we have not found anything incriminating on you, but the fact remains that we are sorry, you cannot enter our country. And they bother me in the next available pay. And somebody is saying that instead of you to be wasting your money, wasting your time, wasting your energy, risking your own life,
I want to go and visit
your own
my
life, you
brother.
don't have any genuine thing to go and do. Just stay here. And here we have somebody is now saying that there is nothing wrong. I think it's because US is involved. Perhaps he's thinking that maybe if he did not come out to deny it, it may lead to a diplomatic row between Nigeria and US. I think that's why he's coming out.
But shouldn't the interest of our people be number one first?
Of course, the interest of our people should be paramount. And Abike Dabiri, it's well experienced on that turf. Don't forget, she was
he served in the House of Reps diaspora
for Semi, and she did wonderful well, in that assignment. In fact, until Jeffrey addressed a press conference this afternoon, I almost forgot that we had a foreign affairs minister.
Yes.
Yes, because
no, the South African thing exposed them.
I mean, this was a foreign minister where Nigerians on social everywhere were talking about attacks. Even some Nigerians attempted taking laws into their hands right here in Nigeria to say they want to attack, MTN office, and the minister, we didn't hear anything from him. Only for you to come out, one afternoon to say that Nigerians should discountenance what, the SSA on to the president, on diaspora said. I think, and if you listen to his press conference, where you see that you see somebody who is speaking, trying to save probably his own job or his own face, not really in the interest of, because the issue Abike raised is Jermaine. Abike did not say don't travel. He said if you don't have compelling reason to travel, please do not go.
And compelling will mean that when you get to
questions, I'm coming here for a conference, I'm coming here for a seminar.
Very valid.
Yes, and this is what I want to do, convincing. Not that because you have your visa at home, you think the better.
Instead of addressing the press conference, what I would have expected the Onyema to do was probably call Abike, please. Is it possible that you have better information than I do on this before this? And
I think that the feeling that the minister has given us is that he's a very territorial person.
Yes.
That Abike is treading on my territory. So let me try and let me embarrass her so that she realizes that
she has a limit.
She
has ended up embarrassing the country, not Abike herself, because you are sending wrong signals out there.
I don't think Nigerians will be taken in by what he has done. I don't think so. Because Nigerians will know those who are really fighting for them.
Yes, because at the end of the day, when you go there again and they turn you back, it's going to be.
You remember that somebody warned you.
Somebody warned you. I want to thank you, gentlemen, for this session. Mr. Ismail Omigidon, thank you so much, and I want to thank you, Wahid Bakari, and Babajide Otitoju as usual. Remind you again for our May 29th Independent Journalist Hangout special. It's going to happen on a Monday, and just send your name, a text message, and where you are going to be coming from. And we have limited seats in our studio. And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. You join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on YouTube. That's youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Usuba. Bye for now. See you tomorrow.